Hello, my name is Ryan. Allow me to properly introduce myself and provide the necessary context before we get into the heart of what this video is all about. So, when it comes to my nationality, I'm Canadian. When it comes to my political views, I believe the best descriptive labels would be I'm a centrist, I'm a moderate, I'm an independent. On certain issues, I'm more left-leaning, while on others, I'm more right-leaning. However, I vehemently oppose extremism in all its forms, whether it's from the right or the left. When it comes to my religious views, I believe the best descriptive label would be agnostic. I'm not opposed to the idea of a creator, but I haven't quite been convinced yet that there is one. As of recording this video, I work 3 jobs, all of them part-time, YouTube included. In terms of my social circles, I'm friends with a wide variety of people across the political spectrum. I have friends who are left-leaning, and I have friends who are right-leaning, and I love them all and would take a bullet for all of them. Oh, and given the name of my YouTube channel, I think it's pretty obvious that I'm a big fan of video games. For those that are curious, my favorite video game of all time is Doom Eternal, and my previous favorite video game of all time before that was Doom 2016. So now, those of you who don't know me and have never seen a video of mine before in your life have a general idea about who I am. So now, there's no need for assumptions about what I am or what I believe in. It's all been laid out for you plain as day. I believe divulging this personal context about myself is necessary, because it would be so disappointing, just such a damn shame, if all of the constructive dialogue and constructive criticism I want to present in this video was just all dismissed on the basis of my assumed labels and assumed associations. Basically what I'm getting at is, to all the left-leaning individuals watching this video, no, I am not a fascist, I am not a Nazi sympathizer. To all of the right-leaning individuals watching this video, no, I am not an SJW and I am not a communist. I'm just a Canadian centrist who's deeply saddened by the current state of video game discourse. Now then, with all that context out of the way, we're over 2 minutes into this video, let's get into the heart of it, let's address the title. What is it I want to say to conservative, Republican, right-leaning gamers? Well, it's 2 things actually. First up, let's talk about current events. No doubt you've heard the controversy, the drama, the outrage concerning pronouns in the recently released brand new game from developer and publisher Bethesda, Starfield. Conservative gamers are very displeased at the inclusions of pronouns and character customization, and that many characters and storylines within Starfield lean left politically. This is where I must ask the question to conservative gamers: why are you surprised that Starfield leans left politically? Bethesda has made it fairly obvious over the years that they are a left-leaning corporation. For goodness sakes, the most prolific individual at Bethesda, the well-known Todd Howard, made it public all the way back in 2009 that he's a leftist. Adding on to the confusion, I must further ask, did any of you who are currently displeased with Starfield play or have any knowledge of Bethesda's previous games, namely Fallout 76 and Fallout 4? These are both products that made it no secret that their creators were left-leaning. So to conservative gamers, I must ask yet again, why are you surprised when video game developers who lean left on the political spectrum make video games that, lo and behold, contain left-leaning politics? Of course, the developers' own personal influences, perspectives, and opinions are going to make their way into the art that they produce. But let's get to the real question here, the real issue. The majority of content in popular culture and fiction in general, we're not just talking about video games here, television, movies, books, etc., etc. The overwhelming majority of it was created by left-leaning individuals. George Lucas, creator of Star Wars, leans left. Gene Roddenberry, the creator of Star Trek, leaned left. Paul Verhoeven, the creator of the iconic films RoboCop and Starship Troopers, a left-leaning atheist. James Cameron, creator of the Terminator franchise and the director behind the sequel to Alien, Aliens. Lo and behold, he leans left. Going back to the video game side of things, prolific video game creator Hideo Kojima, creator of the iconic Metal Gear franchise, he leans left and has also been described as a radical leftist. Gary Newman, founder of developer Facepunch Studios and the creator of Garry's Mod and Rust, two of the most popular, well-known video games of all time. You guessed it, he leans left. Now, this next individual might come as a shock to many conservative gamers, and for some of the more extremist conservative gamers, this is going to rock the foundations of your whole gaming world. Gabe Newell. Yes, that's right, Gabe Newell, president of Valve Corporation, the owner of video game developer Valve, and the digital platform that we all use on PC, Steam. Gabe Newell leans left. He's made several donations to Democrat politicians over the years. This is easily accessible public information. Now, I know some of you, after hearing all this, will need some time to process, but I must apologize because we're not done just yet. Let's take a look over at Steam Charts by SteamDB and see what are the most played games currently as of recording this video. Number 1, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, developed by Valve. They lean left. Baldur's Gate Free, developed by Larian Studios. Oh, they most certainly lean left. We'll skip over Starfield, you already know the answer to that. Apex Legends, developed by Respawn Entertainment. They lean left. Rust, developed by Facepunch Studios. They lean left. Destiny 2, developed by Bungie. Oh, they most certainly lean left. Rainbow Six Siege, developed by Ubisoft. They lean left. Grand Theft Auto 5, developed by Rockstar. They lean left. Warframe, developed by Digital Extremes. They lean left. Dead by Daylight, developed by Behavioral Interactive. They lean left. Okay, I think at this point a clear picture has been painted. The vast majority of the most successful and most popular franchises in popular culture were made by left-leaning individuals and contain left-leaning politics. And if we look at the most popular video games being played right now, at least on PC, on Steam, the most popular video games, the most played video games with the most players, the most successful video games as of right now, were made by left-leaning individuals and contain left-leaning politics. So why the fuck are y'all so surprised that Starfield leans left politically, that there are pronouns present in the character customization, that there are characters present in Starfield who are transgender, that there are storylines and quest lines that are all about criticizing capitalism? My conservative acquaintances, I am genuinely so sorry. I'm so sorry that so many right-wing content creators, some of them being genuine grifters, have kept you all in the dark. The overwhelming majority of the video game industry and the video game medium is a mostly left-leaning creative space. Please understand, I'm not trying to ostracize you, demean you, or belittle you. I know that's a response you probably get pretty often on the internet, but I have genuine empathy for you. I'm sure it's frustrating being Republican, conservative, what have you, and all the media you consume is made by individuals who don't share your perspective, but that is the fact of the matter. This media is being created by people who don't share your perspective. It really is that simple. But here's the thing, I know you've been told otherwise. I know for a fact that a lot of right-wing content creators, right-wing influencers, and some of them are genuine, I'm not being hyperbolic with this, some of them are genuine grifters. These individuals have told you and tried to convince you that there's been a shift in the political alignment of the video game industry and medium, that it was once conservative, but then was infiltrated and converted to liberal. They've told you that left-leaning political parties have been pushing their agendas onto the video game industry and medium. They've told you that companies and organizations like BlackRock have been compelling video game publishers and developers to conform to their EGS scores. They've told you that video game creators and creatives are being forced to make games that lean left politically. Gentlemen, ladies, this just isn't true. I implore you to apply Occam's razor. The simplest answer is usually the most likely. In this case, it's that it's not shadowy forces that are influencing the video game industry and video game publishers and developers to make left-leaning games. It's that the people, the human beings, the individuals working on and making these video games just lean left politically. Now, that isn't to say that there isn't popular content out there that was created by conservatives. The most substantial example I can present is Lord of the Rings, created by J.R.R. Tolkien, who was a Christian conservative. And in terms of video games, we have Kingdom Come Deliverance, developed by Warhorse Studios, whose co-founder, Daniel Vavra, is a conservative. Now, I shouldn't need to tell you that The Lord of the Rings, both the books and the movies, are wonderful pieces of art. And Kingdom Come Deliverance? It's a great game. It's an objectively well-made product. There are conservative creatives out there who have genuine talent and can create quality content. What I'm really getting at here, my conservative acquaintances, what I've been building up to this whole time, is that you shouldn't be asking the questions, why do these video games contain left-leaning politics? Why are so many modern video games, quote-unquote, woke? Those are silly questions. The obvious answer is that the developers lean left. It's as simple as that. The real question you should be asking, the more reasonable demand you should be making is, where are the conservative creatives? Because you're never going to force or pressure left-leaning individuals to create content that appeals to the right. That's just not going to happen. Think logically, think rationally about this. What's more likely to happen? That you, criticizing left-leaning video game developers, will somehow convert them politically from left to right and then start producing content that appeals to conservatives? Or that you take that energy and instead encourage right-leaning creatives, conservative creatives, to start producing their own content. In this case, video games. Encourage them to start up a Kickstarter campaign or open a Patreon. Start getting the foundations together for an indie studio. Start laying the groundwork to produce video games that appeal to conservative values. Video games are a free market. If you're not happy with what's on offer on the market, get involved with and add to the market. Here's the thing, my conservative acquaintances. Here's the thing that these right-wing grifters on the internet don't want you to know. They love all these left-leaning and quote-unquote woke video games. They love it. It just provides them more and more opportunities to profit off of your outrage and displeasure. Surely you've noticed how they never offer any solutions. It's always the same rhetoric over and over again. The video game industry has been invaded by leftists. Video games suck now. They, one, never admit to you or divulge the fact that the video game industry and video game medium for the vast majority of its history and existence has mostly leaned left. Video games have been quote-unquote woke since the 80s, my friends. And two, these grifters never, ever encourage conservative creators to start up their own video game studios, to make their own video games, to produce content and appeal to a demographic that isn't being serviced. Because, of course, that gets in the way of the grifters' plans to make revenue off you. Why spend your money helping to support conservative indie game devs when you could give them that money to keep making the same rage bait videos over and over again? Grifters, let me tell you, it's an insidious industry. Don't let them make you a sucker. They don't care about you, only the money that they can make off you. Now then, do you remember all the way back at the beginning of this video when I said there were two things I wanted to say to conservative gamers? Well, all of that was just the first thing. Let's move on to the second thing. Don't worry, this one won't be as lengthy. It's just a simple question, as a matter of fact. Do you believe in freedom of speech? Do you support freedom of speech? If the answer to these questions is yes, I have a supplementary question. Why are you offended then that left-leaning video game developers are making games with left-leaning politics in them? And why do you want them to not exist? Because these individuals are utilizing their freedom of speech. I'm not asking you or telling you to agree with all of the ideas and beliefs that all of these left-leaning creatives are featuring in the content that they produce, but what I am saying is that you have to remain consistent. If you believe in freedom of speech and you support freedom of speech, then you have to tolerate the existence of video games with left-leaning politics created by left-leaning video game developers. In particular, the existence and implementation of LGBT characters and themes. They have a right to exist in media and art, just as Christianity has a right to exist in media and art and be represented in a positive light. Just as there's a right to offer constructive criticism towards Christianity, it's all freedom of speech. Criticizing capitalism? Freedom of speech. Criticizing communism? freedom of speech. We don't have to agree with one another. We don't have to like each other, but we do have to tolerate one another. Because if we don't, then we don't really believe in freedom of speech and we don't support freedom of speech. So just be aware. When you say, keep politics out of video games, I don't want wokeness in video games, I don't want anything left-leaning in video games, you are also stating, you are admitting, you are declaring that you are anti-freedom of speech and you do not support freedom of speech. If you do believe in freedom of speech and you support freedom of speech, then you have no reason to be outraged when left-leaning video game developers make video games with themes that lean left politically. Oh boy. Anyways, that's been a video. Thank you for watching. I truly hope that I didn't burn any bridges with this video, especially when it comes to my left-leaning friends. If I haven't made it clear in the past, I love you all for who you are as people. I've never really cared about your politics. All that truly matters to me is your content of character, who you are as a person. And I'd like to believe that you know me as a person, and I hope you can trust me when I say that despite some of your bad experiences with individuals who were conservative, that there are conservatives out there who are genuinely good people. They're not all raging bigots, I assure you. They're just unfortunately usually drowned out by the very loud-mouthed scumbags online. Now, to all my new conservative acquaintances whom this video was directed towards, I hope I have inspired you to be just a wee bit more open-minded, especially when it comes to right-wing content creators, exploiting your dissatisfaction with the current state of modern video games. I hope you'll encourage conservative creatives to make their own video games. I hope, for the love of God, you'll do some basic research on the internet and come to understand just how intimate left-leaning politics have always been with popular culture. Lastly, I hope some of y'all will stop being fucking hypocrites and actually abide to the concept of freedom of speech which you supposedly believe in and support. I will defend your right to practice and preach Christianity. In return, you have to also defend the right for the LGBT to just exist. That includes existing in video games. That's how this works. It's a two-way street. Anyways, once again, that's been a video. Thank you for watching. I hope I didn't burn any bridges. I am open to constructive criticism and conversation and debate. Y'all know how to reach me on Discord if you want to talk in a voice call. Anyways, one last time, that's been a video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later. I wonder if I'm going to get canceled for making this video.